Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Resale Stack, the show where we explore the people, platforms, and ideas driving the resale industry forward. I'm Jackie, co founder and CEO of Trendful.
And I'm Miley, Trendful's co-founder and CTO. Today's episode is a special one. We are joined by two incredible founders we have had the privilege of working with for the past few years.
Yes, and we're so excited to welcome Erika and Monica, the sister duo behind season two Consign. Together, they bring over 15 years of experience in the luxury handbag resale industry.
And they launched season 2 Consign after recognizing a significant gap in the market. And they have built a contemporary, streamlined consignment model that blends elevated aesthetics with exceptional customer service.
Erika and Monica have really built something special. Today, we're diving into their founder journey, what it's like building a business as sisters, and what the future holds for season two to Consign.
So, Erika and Monica, welcome to the Resale Stack.
Thank you for having us. We're so excited to be here. We love you guys.
Yes.
We've worked together for so long, so it's nice
Yeah.
to be able to chat on a podcast with you.
I know it's been so great having you guys partner with us since like almost I think the very beginning of kind of both of our journeys. So it's been great to see you grow. And we always love diving into your story. So I guess we can start right off the bat, like the season two origin story. How did it happen? What was the impetus to creating season two?
Yeah, so I'm going to let Erika because she's the one that broke me and she came to me with the idea. So I'm going to let her take this one.
Yes. Well, I like to say that that iron sharpens iron. Essentially it was 2020 and I was having my second child. She was born on February 28th and we were locked down by March 15th. Essentially what happened there, I had been in the luxury resale space for over a decade by that point. I was working for another brand. And I always had, for many years, I had this sense like we can do this bigger, better, and faster. And I approached, the owner of the company that I was working for at the time, and I said, "Hey, I want to franchise your concept." And she said no. And at the time, that was so devastating to me because I was like, "Oh, I've given my blood, sweat, and tears here." But you know what? A closed door leads to another open one. And I started developing this concept, brought it to Monica, that we should start an e-commerce brand specializing in live shopping. And I twisted her arm. I convinced her that we could do it even during COVID, which was a very scary time for so many small businesses. And she really was the builder and the creator behind all of my crazy ideas. And we launched in the summer of 2020.
Like, oh, I don't want to say risky, but like during COVID, it was like such like a risk to create a new company, like with all the unknowns about what was happening in the world.
Yeah. I mean, everybody was home, right?
Yeah.
So we knew that like we could connect with people online. And just to give a little bit more color to that story, I had been in the space for a long time. And so what I knew, and Monica had seen it as well, was that we just didn't feel like there was a space for us. We were pretty young at the time. We were in our early 20s.
That was 5 years ago. I
We're
wasn't in
No.
my early 20s.
girl, I was in my early 20s.
Okay, well, I was not.
My mid 20s. And it just felt like the luxury resale space was not created for us. It was not welcoming. It didn't feel inclusive to me and to my experience, and also to that of Monica. We were brown women, we were young women, we weren't particularly wealthy, certainly in our 20s, especially. We didn't have a ton of money to spend, but we wanted to be a part of the conversation. And so we wanted to create that space, and we knew we could do it on the internet by connecting with everyone because everyone was home.
Yeah. And I do think that the level of risk there, it's almost like in the moment, none of us knew. I remember telling Erika, you are outside your mind if you think that we're going to start a business when we don't even know if we can go outside at that point. And then it was kind of like, well, what do we have to lose? At this point, no one knows what's going on. let's try it.
Yeah.
So it was risky to take the opportunity, but it would have been equally as risky to not do it. So I think we made the right choice.
I think
High
so too.
five.
Yeah, I think so too. But did you guys decide to like leave your jobs at that point, like and go like full on like full time?
Yeah, so at the time, it all kind of was perfect timing. I had exited. I was a franchisee, so I was a franchise owner of a child development program, and I had exited that business just before COVID, a couple months before COVID hit. And then Erica went on maternity leave. And so what happened was I was free I was kind of like in between. And I was given the opportunity to step in for Erica while she was on maternity leave. So I stepped in for Erica for a couple months at the company where she was at. And then when COVID happened and everything happened and Erica brought me the idea, I was like, what? Okay, we can do this because I really love like the business side. I love the side that most people don't love about business, which are the contracts and the numbers, the financials, and the legalities of everything. And then Erica's the creative, right? So, and she is the technology and she has all the big ideas. And so I think we balance each other out really well in that way. And I think that's why it works, honestly. But yeah, we were all at home and Erica had a newborn and a 3-year-old, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the time. So I think at that point it was just kind of like, all right, well, let's try this.
Yeah.
And kind of leave everything else behind.
Yeah, I mean, I left my job. I remember, I think I gave like a 2-month notice. I wanted to, I'd been there for a long time. Have never been the type of person that like jumps around to ideas or jobs or anything. So I gave like a 2-month notice. And I was like, I want to help wrap up. I wanted to do all those things. But at the end of this, I was going to go all in. The way we started, it's interesting. People always ask this question, so I'm just going to offer it up. How did you get all the stuff? Girl, we went
personal
through our
closets.
closets. Like anything, and I had been again in the space for a long time. Like we had collected things over the course of a decade at least, our whole lives. And everything, even gifts that our father had given to us, we sold.
Yeah,
Our
invested
first,
all of
I
it.
think we launched with 24 units, and every single one of those came from our closets, from our mom's closet that she had like donated to the cause. And we just started. That was it. It's really all it took.
I love hearing that because, at Trendful, we initially were an online resale business as well. And we started around like end of 2018, 2019. Where did we get our first inventory? Our closets. So it's when people wonder how you start, it's always like, look at what you have around, like, and try to sell that first. See if it works that way. I'm sure that was a great testing ground for you guys too, to see how the business would start.
Yeah, and you know what? When we first started, so we honed in very quickly on the fact that we were only going to accept handbags and accessories, because we had clothes. Like when we first started, we had t-shirts that we owned, we had sneakers and shoes. So if anyone started following us right off the bat in the first month of season 2 Consign, then they would have seen that we had a whole hodgepodge of product. And then quickly we were like, clothes is far too difficult. We have a no return policy. And so we established ground rules of what we were going to be able to sell to make it easy for the client, but also effective for us as business owners.
Yeah, a great lesson in shifting quickly. If something doesn't work, especially as an entrepreneur, as a founder, I don't have to tell you guys, but maybe there are new founders or seasoned founders listening, like you just have to be able to adapt.
Yes.
Right? Like there are things that just every single day sometimes that don't go right. Or I've made a decision and it wasn't the right one, but being able to like pick yourself up by your bootstraps and keep it moving. Like I could dwell in all kinds of things that went wrong this morning, right? Like all the time, but you have to keep it, you have to be adaptable and you have to keep moving.
Yeah. And did you guys have a clear vision of what you wanted season 2 to be like back then versus like now? Or has that vision kind of changed over time?
Um, that's tricky. It's tricky. I think during COVID, so many of us had this YOLO mentality. Like we just we just knew we wanted to resale products. We knew we could do it bigger, better, and faster. And so we just started to test ideas. Let's go live. Let's have a little showroom. Okay, well, let's start taking in-person appointments. That kind of like wasn't the bread and butter. It was really going live. So we leaned into going live more so. People wanted a better experience going live. So we started bringing in new softwares that could help us do it bigger, better, and faster. And they wanted a better consignment experience. So we called some people that we know and we were able to do that bigger, better, and faster. And so you just have to kind of try things. My vision, I think at the time, I had a YOLO vision. It was like, I love this industry and I want to figure out how to make it work. Probably at the beginning, I mean, we had like a first floor walk in kind of showroom office, and we thought we would have much more foot traffic than we actually did. And that's why we really shifted and leaned into live shopping and having that be the model that exists today.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think as far as growth, where we are now, we also have a franchise. We have franchised, so we've chosen that is the route that we wanted to go. We got to the point where we were receiving messages from people and emails and communications where it was, I want to do what you do, and I want to do it how you do it. Or other people who were also trying resale on social media would reach out and say, hey, can I pick your brain? And all of that is so complimentary.
I'm sure you guys get that all the time. Can I
I'm
pick
sure
your
you
brain?
do. Can I
wanna do
pick
what
your
you
brain?
do.
And so we kind of decided, okay. And then we also had on the other side of that clients who were saying, I don't want to ship my Birkin. When will you have a location near me? And we were like, okay, we're going to have to grow. We're going to have locations, showrooms, not traditional retail. That's not our business model. And we're going to stick with our business model as it originally started. But again, you have to bob and weave and kind of shift with the market. But we said, all right, we can open up showrooms and put staff, managers in place. Or I was a franchisee previously, or we can do a franchise route where we have franchise owners. And we landed on franchising because there is such a level of needing to truly care about the little things when you own or when you're trying to sell luxury pieces. And even the position of the sticker and how things are packaged and how the box is taped. We train on all of those little things so that it's all according to brand standard, because those little things matter to people when they're spending their hard-earned money on luxury pieces.
Yeah.
And they're spending it with you. And so we said an owner operator is going to care much more than perhaps a manager that we put in place. So that's why we decided to go the franchise route instead of owned locations.
Yeah. And an owner is going to care more than anyone else will. I mean, you guys, you own your business, we own our business. I know that no one's going to care more about the placement of the sticker or the shipment arriving on time or, how the email is signed off on than me. Right. So it was important that we found owners who've had the same sentiment.
Yeah, I mean, it's like since they're owners, they don't feel like, oh, I should clock out. Like I'm clocking out of my job. When you own your company, it's a part of you. It's something that you really want to foster and see grow, and you don't always get that when it's just an employee relationship. Or it's very hard to motivate employees to think of your business in that way. You have to give them some sort of like agency. And I think it's really great that you guys went down the franchise route. I've never seen like a pre-owned luxury business go down the franchise route. Are you guys the only lug
We've been
yes and no.
told, yeah, we've been told yes and no. So when we started the franchise journey, we didn't realize, just like when we started season 2, we didn't realize that we were trying to create something that to a degree didn't exist. And we just kind of went with it. And so with franchising, it was the same thing. We were trying to get the right people in place to build our franchise model. People would look at us like we had 3 heads. They were like, what do you mean you're not brick and mortar? What do you mean you're e-commerce based? So people are going to have to plug in to one central marketplace. Like that just didn't register with people in the franchise industry a couple years ago. And then we just kept at it and we kept saying, no, we had to invest a significant amount into building the technology that we needed on our website to be able to create an e-commerce franchise model. So I guess to a degree,
So
we built that.
we're the only brand that we know of that is a franchise e-commerce brand, right? That puts all of our franchise owners with their own product listings and really integrates all of them into one place. Because for us, the way that we see the benefit is when our franchise owners plug in, they don't have to build from scratch. They get our existing customer base. They get to be a part of the story from the very beginning. Whereas if I open a restaurant in Timbuktu, my HQ is in West Palm Beach, Florida, I'm starting from scratch. And so that's why we wanted to create that model. We are the only brand that I know of that has that model. There are other resale concepts out there, but the ones that I know of are brick and mortar, very high overhead, huge investment, upwards of $1 million. And so that's just not the space that we wanted to be in.
Yeah, I like that it empowers, usually it's mostly women, I would say, to be able to be their own business owner and to build something of their own too, without it seems like that much overhead that you would have if you were building like building out a brick and mortar like location, which is amazing.
Yeah, we like to say you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself.
Aw, that's great. And what was it like building out that business as sisters? Was there any like surprising dynamics between the two of you, or you don't step on each other's toes or anything like that?
Sometimes we do.
Yeah, I mean, I think people from the outside looking in might look at us and be like, oh, they have such a great sister relationship. And we do, thankfully, and we can't take credit for that. That is all mom and dad and family upbringing. But we are also incredibly different, and our strengths really complement each other. Erika is the idea person. She's the creative. She has the ability to call me at 3 a.m. with a brand new idea. And,
I have an idea needs to be like pasted across my.
Every time she calls me and says, listen, hear me out. I have an idea. I'm instantly perspiring. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is your idea? But we just balance each other out in that way. And I think that's why it works. And I'm more so, I enjoy the spreadsheets and the contracts and the franchise agreements and all of that, the legality of everything. So I think that's why it works for us. We complement each other. But there are moments where Erika is doing something and I don't know what she's doing. Like when it comes to the technology and the building of the technology that we have needed, it has been incredibly complicated. And from the outside looking in, Erika has blood, sweat, and tears invested into building the technology. I'm not lying at all. Into building the technology that allows us to be an e-commerce franchise company. And that I give her all the credit for. And I'm like, yay, you're doing great, but then if I have questions, I think we make space for each other, but we've learned to make space for each other over time. At first, it was kind of like, but what about this? And what about that? And then it would it could snowball into an argument or a misunderstanding. Whereas now we've learned that we say, do you have 5 minutes? Can I ask you a question? Because we both are working on two totally different things within our own wheelhouses, but we're working towards the same mission and for the same purpose. And sometimes we have to know when to communicate to each other. Right? I think that we've done a good job of that. It wasn't like that at first. At first, it was like 8 o'clock at night. We're calling each other.
It was a learned skill.
Yeah, there were no boundaries. And our family had to really kind of check us at one point where it was like, we're having family dinner.
No work.
We're not talking about work. I don't know if that happens to you guys, but like,
I don't think we've mastered that yet. I think, what do you think, Miley?
Yeah, no, holidays, Trendful comes up, but even our own family my mom will call me every day. How is Trendful? What's up? Every day. So everyone is invested, but we're doing great as well.
yeah,
It's true. I think a couple of other things that really work for us. I'm sure they're even whether you're sisters or friends or, whatever relationship it is, whenever you have a co-founder relationship, I think it's important to define your roles and define who leads what. There's good and bad happening in every sector of the business. There's things we can work on, there's areas of opportunity. There's things that are going amazing, swimmingly well. But I know that when it comes to our operations, that Monica is the leader. And even if I have an idea, I'm bringing it to her first because she leads that space of our business. And same thing on the creative. Monica sees something on the internet and she's like, oh, I think this is so cool. She knows that like she just brings that to me and we let each other lead in the spaces that make sense because we just follow our strengths. And then one more thing is we try to just not get our feelings hurt.
yeah.
And that's so hard to do because sometimes Monica will talk to me sideways and I am like, no, she did not, dude. Talk to me like that. But at the end of the day, we're running a business. We have to like remind self that we're on the same mission. And maybe she didn't mean to hurt my feelings, and she did. But like, again, you got to pick up pick yourself up from your bootstraps and just try to not get your feelings hurt because we're on a mission and sometimes it's mission critical.
Yeah, that's really great. I think, that's the thing we try to do is like we have kind of our separates, what we work at work. Like Miley's only does the tech and building software, and I'm more like the marketing and sales side. So we're not really stepping on each other's toes, which I think helps when building a company to have two founders, but not have the two founders, working on the same thing all the time and working on separate things, but with the same goal in mind is really key.
I think at the beginning, like very early on, we tried to be soft with each other. And that didn't work for us.
It didn't work.
Because we were like, oh, well, we should be co-CEOs. Remember when we had those ridiculous titles? Co-CEOs. It didn't make any sense.
But then I brought it to Erika. I think you also have to be very self-aware. And it comes with years of being a founder okay. I looked at Erika. I think we were in Vegas for a franchise conference. And I looked at Erika and I said, I oversee operations. I am not a CEO. I am not the big idea person. I'm not like the face of the brand that's going to get up on stage and be like, yay, rah, rah, go season 2. I'm the person that's like, here is the plan. This is the structure. These are the ops. These are the policies and procedures. Let's make sure we're following them. And she falls asleep. And then, so I looked at her and I said, I know you don't want to have to be the person that goes on trips and talks on stage, but you are the CEO because you are the big idea person and I am the COO. And at that point, we were able to establish that. And I think it's been the best thing.
Yeah, I think that's great for your business. As you've been scaling season 2, do you have any like challenges that you faced while scaling, either like the franchise aspect or just like a luxury resale business in general?
There's so many challenges.
So many.
We don't have enough time today.
Always challenges. And you know what? I think that's one of the biggest things when someone reaches out to us and they're like, hey, I'm interested in owning a franchise. One of the first things I look for in the first meetings with people is do they seem like they have some grit?
Grit.
Do they seem like they're going to be able to be dragged through the mud and still get up and smile? Because that is realistically what's needed in business in general. You're going to have days where it feels like every single thing is falling apart and it's not easy. And you have to just focus on your why. And people say that all the time. Who is it?
Simon Sinek.
Sinek. He says, the why is so important, but it's true. Because if we were doing season 2, if you would have told me 5 years ago that we'd be here where we are now, I would have laughed in your face. Because I would have been like, no way. Like having to manage a franchise company, that's so much work. Like, no way, that's too complicated. But we're here in it now because you just remember your why every time. And when it comes to the resale industry, there have been a lot of things that have been difficult, specifically with the resale industry. But speaking for the franchise side, building a franchise company is a lot of work. And I think people assume that starting a franchise company is going to be easy because what you're doing is just replicating your business model and giving a business in a box to someone who wants the business. But I wish it were that easy. But what we've had to really focus on is protecting the brand and not selling or overselling franchise locations to people who are not a good fit for season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And in franchising, according to the franchise model and franchise industry, we have grown very slowly because we've been franchising for about 2.5, 3 years. And we're just at, I believe, 10 locations, 9 locations. In franchising, that's slow. But for us in the retail industry, I think that's pretty fast because we have to be so careful with who we bring into our business.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we have the unique situation where our owners are so visible, right? They're just as visible as we are. They're just as noticeable as we are. They're showing their face, they're showing their teams, they're sharing their lives on the internet. They're almost like their own micro influencers in the space. And so we have to be so careful to vet our owners. We're so blessed with the owners that we currently have. And so we just want to continue to grow slow and steady. I think a couple of other challenges just in the resale space is we're building an e-commerce franchise brand, and technology can be so wonderful and yet it can be so unforgiving.
Well, you know.
We've worked together on so many things too. And yeah, I mean, when you're building something that doesn't exist, there are blind spots. There will be blind spots. And so you do something that helps me to sleep at night is knowing that we've surrounded ourselves with people who think the way that we do, both from a franchise owner perspective, but also from our vendors perspective and our partner perspective. I feel like a lot of us, most of us, are problem solvers. So, something goes wrong, you got to be able to figure out, just find a solution. Like, we don't need to be mean to each other or place blame or say anything nasty. And I think the four of us have had that experience even together. It's like, let's just solve the problem. And we've had that, over and over again. So we've been really lucky to just have the right people around us.
And with building out the e-commerce franchise, did you have to, like you said, build all that technology from scratch? Was there tech in place for building a franchise that's not brick and mortar but e-commerce, or
No.
What did that look like for you?
We built it from scratch. Of course, we have vendors that we use that are part of our tech stack. Of course, we use Trendful. We're big fans of Trendful. And we have, some live shopping software that we use, but the actual technology that allows all of our franchisees to operate on one singular marketplace, that was built. So that's our IP, that's our moat, as we call it. that kind of protects us. We built that all from scratch.
I do also just want to give a shout out to our first few franchise owners, our ladies in New Jersey and Las Vegas. They really jumped in blindly into being franchise owners with us, and they trusted us wholeheartedly. And they have been so patient with us as our technology has grown, and we've said, all right, whole new shift. This is what's going on. And they are just great examples, our ladies in New Jersey and our owner in Vegas, of being able to bob and weave and adapt, because building the franchise, building something that doesn't exist, can be so rewarding and really exciting, but also very frustrating.
Yeah.
And it has required us to have people around us that we all share the same goals and the same vision.
I think it's helpful that they're early adopters. I mean, speaking from experience, you were an early adopter of Trendful. I think that relationship that you build together, because you guys coming on as clients of ours, it really helps inform our software we're building that, didn't really exist. And I think it's similar to your early franchise adopters as well. Like, they took a chance on you and you guys are building something great together.
Yeah. Early adopters, my hand to God, are the ones that get to reap the biggest benefits.
Yes.
So we've been blessed by Trendful too.
Yes, for sure.
Yes. Are there any other tech or processing decisions you've used to help you grow?
Yeah. I mean, in terms of Trendful, the price database was a game changer for us. It really allowed the time that it takes to because we're very meticulous. So there's no consigner that's coming onto the site trying to sell something to us that we are just kind of slapping a price tag on it and hoping for the best. We're very, very meticulous. And so the price database for us just unlocked so much time that we had to, I mean, it informs our pricing model, right? And we were able to do a few little customizations that could help us to just be able to move faster, because time is money, right? I mean, and we're on Shopify. Shopify is like so intuitive. It's easy. It's a great platform. So all of our franchisees use Shopify. But yeah, I mean, we're very, very tech forward. Our live shopping software is awesome. It's a pretty penny. It's called Bambuser.
An investment. It's definitely an investment. And it's something we've invested in. We've had Bambuser for 4 years now? Again, I think we were an early adopter when it came to the live shopping technology and owning it and having it on our website. And people reach out almost maybe on a weekly basis. Yeah. And they'll ask us, what's the live shopping technology? And it is, when we decided we were going to do it, we were like, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it all the way. And we're going to have the best option. And hand to God, as Erika said, it has been wonderful growing alongside Bambuser as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. Something that I wanted to say is that I feel like you have had a talent to surround yourself with people and technology that would make you succeed. You didn't want to cut corners.
No.
And that's something that in any type of business is like so important. Do not try to cut corners. Choose the best if your goal is wanting to scale. And that's something that can be hard to explain to even like other business owners that are trying to navigate through different choice for different software. Sometimes they're like, oh, this is a bit too pricey, but it delivers so much more. And you won't have to change your software down the road. Yeah. Something I wanted to ask is, right now you are focusing on handbags, obviously, and you have other type of items. Because it's a question for Trendful, if you had the possibility to expand to other categories of items and have them as prevalent than handbags, would you go for it? Like, would you go back to clothing, like more shoes, etc., like the start?
So we get that question actually quite a bit, and even from our franchisees. So, some of the best ideas come from franchise owners within franchise systems. The Big Mac was created by a franchisee within McDonald's. So a lot of the ideas that we have implemented or that have helped us grow have come from franchise owners in our system. Shoes, accepting shoes is one of those that came from a franchisee. And we did some market research. We looked to see how we could make it something that we could implement into our system and actually accept. And so we do accept shoes. Clothing, however, is just incredibly difficult. And like Erika mentioned, time is money. And measuring, hoping and praying that no one altered a piece of clothing before it got to you. So much luxury is altered because when someone invests in a luxury piece that is clothing, if they gain weight, they take it out. If they lose weight, they take it in. If they're if they shorten the sleeves, they make it look a little bit different. And then when they're sick of it, they'll want to sell it, but it's been altered. And so at that point, it's not the original product. So I think for us, we operate by efficiency and time is money. And clothing, I don't think is an option. But we don't want to say, we never say no or never. We never say never because you just never know. In a year, we could be accepting clothes. And then, we'll be like, oh, remember when we said we weren't accepting clothes?
We'll have to eat our words from this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think clothing is really hard. Even like if you were to receive the clothing from a consigner, you could miss a spot on it. Like you could miss that there's like a snag on it. It's so easy to miss those details when you're looking at a piece of clothing and then you have to measure it and then you get people wanting to buy it, questioning you, what is the actual size of this item? Can you measure it for me? And there's so much more like back and forth.
Absolutely.
That comes with clothing.
Shoes are even sometimes a challenge
Yes.
for us. And the reason for that is because, sometimes people don't know that Chanel ballet flats run half a size small. And what is a 39 in US in US sizes? Maybe there are 39 in Hermes and there are 38 in Chanel. And many times people don't know their size, or their foot is a little wider than the person who sent in the shoe, or a little more narrow. It's like, we like to say feet are fingerprints. So, proceed with caution.
Yeah, that makes me interested that you're in shoes. So would you ever expand into like luxury sneakers? You know how guys find that so popular?
Yeah. I could see us potentially doing some sneakers. I think that's it's definitely its own market. It's definitely outside of what our expertise is, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we can't find great expertise. We're obviously very good at finding great people to work with. So, that's not a hard no.
Yeah, there's so much hype around sneakers, I feel like, but that's such a different, as you said, business as well.
Oh my goodness. I have a 13-year-old and a 14-year-old. They're both boys and they go to a private school, so they wear uniforms. So the only thing they have is sneakers.
Oh my goodness.
And it's an obsession that I'm concerned. I'm concerned, honestly.
Do they have more shoes than you now? Is that what it is?
Almost. My 13-year-old loves to collect shoes and now he's just growing out of it though. But I selfishly would be like, yeah, sure, you can get those because I know that when he grows out, they're going to end up in my closet because we're the same size right now.
And he takes good care of them.
He takes great care of them. Whereas my 14-year-old is 6 feet tall and he's a size 12 and a half men's and he's just going to keep growing. And I'm like, you know how hard it is to find larger shoes and, and the shoes they want. But yeah, the whole sneaker industry is something, it's like its own world.
That's crazy. Are there any trends that you're seeing in resale now that you would maybe want to implement for you? Like, is it have to do with the live selling or, because when we were a resale company, there was no live selling that didn't exist. So just any trends that you're seeing either with selling and resale or.
Yeah, absolutely. I think live selling is relatively new to the United States. I mean, when I say relatively, I mean people have been shopping in Asia via live selling for over a
Years,
decade
yeah.
at this point. And so it's relatively new for us. I think people are getting more comfortable with it. They're starting to see. Just a few weeks ago, I started seeing one of my favorite creators on the internet, Gary V. Are you
Oh,
familiar with
yes.
Gary V?
No, I haven't heard of.
Okay,
Yeah.
he's awesome, but he's like, if you're not live selling, I'm like, we've been live selling for 5 years, Gary.
I know.
But
You should have invited us to his podcast.
I know. But I would love to see more businesses live selling in general. And I know that that doesn't have anything to do with resale, but um, I've talked about this on my personal Instagram account. Just, you know, even service-based brands should be
Mhm.
going live and connecting with their customers and their potential customers. So live selling, I think, is not going anywhere, and I think it's just going to be more and more popular. I think as owners of businesses, we need to be accessible to our customers.
Yeah.
Not necessarily 24 hours a day, but accessible in the sense that your customers have questions. Like, leave no stone unturned for your customer. Jam pack your listings, your descriptions, your photos, but still go live, still answer those questions. Everyone wants to feel special. Everyone on the other side of the screen wants to feel like there is no stone left unturned. And so if you can give your customers that opportunity, um, every single time we go live, we sell at least something because
Mhm.
someone just needed to know if their baby's bottles will fit or if their dog will fit or if, their EpiPen fits in the inside pocket, whatever it happens to be. And so if you can give them that customized experience from the comfort of your office or even your home or wherever it is you're conducting business, I think that's just a big win for your business.
To build on that too, something that we say quite often in our ecosystem and to our franchise owners is social media is rented space.
Mhm.
And a lot of companies are starting off just like we did 5 years ago when we decided to do live shopping or live selling. We hit go live on Instagram, and that's how we started. And that's a great place to start, but it's not a great place to grow. I would highly, highly suggest to any business owner that they decide to own their live shopping experience and to have it on their websites so that they're driving their clients to their website, and it becomes a habit for clients as opposed to relying on social media platforms. Because from one day to the next, TikTok could be gone for 12 hours and the whole world feels like it's on fire.
Yeah.
And then Instagram can glitch and go down, and the live feature doesn't work for 24 hours. And businesses that rely on those social media, platforms are out of business for 24 hours. So I would highly, highly suggest to any business owner that you at least plan and budget to be able to own a live shopping technology on your website.
I
Yeah,
also
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. I also think that we have to be willing to shift and adjust as quickly as possible. So, like Monica said, social media is rented space. And you also need to, when we think about the longevity of our businesses, do I want to be making money just for today, just to pay the bill today? Or do I want to also be making money in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road? And do I want to exit my business? So when we get customers to our owned assets, our website, getting their information, getting their phone number, their email, that customer, even just them navigating through the website, having those analytics to tell us what does the customer behavior look like, having all of that data when it is happening on your owned asset, like your website, you can use that to drive business.
Mhm.
When a customer is asking for an invoice on Instagram or they're sending you Zelle and all you have is their Instagram, that is an Instagram customer. That is never going to be your customer until you get them to your owned asset. So that to me And we thought about this many years ago when we brought live shopping straight to our website. It's like, we want to be here for the long haul. I'm not trying to be, rich today. I'm trying to be rich in 10 years. I'm trying to be rich in 20 years. You know what I mean? So having that customer data and owning that customer data is absolutely critical when you think about the future.
And I see so many businesses that are like taken down by Instagram too, or like their accounts are blocked for no reason.
We've
It
had
it's
that
We had
twice.
crazy.
that. We had that happen twice. And the second time, it was tongue in cheek. It was really stressful. It was for a couple months. I think about 2 months.
Yeah.
Our Instagram account with at the time, I believe 90,000 followers disappeared. And thankfully, our clients and our S2C fam knew that they could find us on our website. They knew that they could come to us. We had their information, so we could text them when we were going to be live on our website. We could email them because we have their email. And we didn't miss a beat, thankfully, for those 2 months. We were able to stay in business and continue making sales and continue hitting our goals. But we just, again, had to shift and make sure that we were communicating out to our clients, we're here, we're just not on Instagram.
Feels like that's the theme of the day.
Yeah.
You gotta
You
be
have
able
to
shift.
adapt.
Yes. Yeah, I don't understand Instagram's rules, how sometimes they will just like take down posts of luxury resale owners or they'll block accounts. It doesn't make any sense to me sometimes how it's happening.
But when we get clients have reached out to us and they've said, I got a DM from someone claiming to be a season 2 location and they're not.
We've had
It's
impersonation accounts.
Impersonation accounts.
Oh, wow.
And we report. Everyone reports and those accounts stay up. And I'm like, you're leaving up these accounts, but you're taking down actual credible accounts. We'll just never fully understand, I guess.
We'll never fully understand Meta. And Meta, it's a love-hate relationship for me because it is such a powerful tool. And yet it feels like sometimes we're just walking in the dark. Like we just don't know. Like, okay, I want to like run an ad today, but like they moved the button and now I don't know where, there's just,
where did the button go?
They make these crazy decisions around accounts and all that. So Meta can be very challenging, but it is a very powerful tool.
Yes. Do you find anything challenging with like using TikTok, or is that similar to Meta?
Yeah, there's so many rules.
So many rules on TikTok, especially in the luxury space. I think rightfully so, because they want to protect their platform from selling a counterfeit item.
Yeah.
I can get on board with that. But there are an incredible amount of rules when you're selling luxury pieces on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that TikTok is like the wild, wild west. I mean, Instagram will feed you to people like your followers, where on TikTok, it's just you never know who's going to land on your
Interesting.
live show. So it's really great to get lots of eyes on you, but you have to be willing to kind of take the hits when it comes to the wild, wild west. Like there might be trolls on your live shows. And that just kind of comes with the territory there.
That sounds intimidating for people starting with live selling to be on TikTok, and then you have like some troll on your live show.
You gotta have thick skin.
Yeah.
It's great to just be like, hey guy, our line is
we don't do that.
We don't do that here. Block.
Yeah.
I mean,
Gotcha.
and we're just a business. We're just humans. And if we've gotten really ugly comments. We've gotten comments about our business. We've gotten comments about our physical appearance. We've gotten some nasty stuff before, but it's just a matter of having thick skin and just not letting anything shake you. And if it's going to shake you, wait till you're off the live and then you can go cry.
Yeah.
Because I've done that too.
Same.
Oh, that's so hard. But you need to have thick skin when you're putting your face out there as your brand. So that's definitely an aspect of live selling now. And even before, when we were a resale company, it wasn't even popular at that point to do much video like in person, like video in person on Instagram. It was more static images or static static stories. What do you think, Miley? It was like that, right?
Yeah, that was so different. It's a whole different world now from what it was like just pre-COVID. Um,
Very sophisticated, it feels like now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. How do you see the customer expectations evolving now too? Like from when you first started to what is it like now since it is more live selling and people are kind of behind their computer buying from live selling?
Yeah, I think our customer, and I'll speak for our customers specifically, they've just come to expect that we are available to them.
Mm-hmm.
And rightfully so.
Yep.
You know, they're not buying $25 t-shirts. They are buying $2,500 handbags. And so we know that it's our duty to be available to them and to answer their questions. And that is the expectation that they have. And I think that has played a major, if not the single most important factor in the success of the brand, not just at our location here in West Palm Beach, Florida, but in all of our locations in Jersey, in Vegas, in Austin, in Tampa, in Orlando, in Raleigh, Durham. They are available and accessible to their customers to answer questions and give them the same luxury experience that they should expect from the boutiques, but expect it online in the palm of their hands.
And is that communication mostly happening through Instagram or like TikTok or other social media?
Our communication mostly happens through email and SMS marketing that we do, where we're constantly trying to stay connected. We don't like to spam, but we like to stay connected to our S2C fam. But we also make sure that we have consistent content going out and that we're active in stories, both on TikTok and Instagram.
Mhm.
So I think it's a perfect combination of everything. You can't, as a business owner, you can't just rely on one channel. You have to be able to diversify that and kind of connect with them any which way. Some people love Facebook and they're creatures of habit and they're going to stay on Facebook. So we want to make sure that we're on Facebook because we have clients on Facebook. Some people are creatures of habit and they love Instagram and they will only watch our live shows on Instagram, which is why we pushed and pushed and pushed for our live shopping technology to integrate Instagram, because people wanted to watch our live shows, but they didn't necessarily want to come to our website. That's okay. Now they can watch us on Instagram, but we're also live on our website at the same time. So we multi-stream out. And that's something that we've progressed to. But we want to make sure that we're connecting with people where they're at and not just expecting that they're always going to come to where we are.
Yeah.
I think that's
another expectation I think that our customers have, because there are so many options to shop resale
now
on the internet.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think something that's really important is that our customers have come to expect a very fair market value, real-time price point from us.
Mm-hmm.
They know that when the price is $4,995 or $3,500, whatever that price is, they know that it is a competitive price.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to like go scouring the internet and looking around, because we already did that the day before. We've already done that with our price database, with our tools that we have. We've done all that work ahead of time. So there's never like, oh, I'm going to go find a better price point somewhere. Maybe you can find a better price point somewhere, but it's not going to be the best like the same condition. And so we get that all the time. Like, oh, I found another one that's $500 less. I'm like, yeah, girl, it's got a big stain on the inside. You know? And so,
or it smells like cigarettes and they just didn't tell you.
right, exactly. Yeah. And so I think that's part of the expectation too of our season 2 customers, is that they know that the price is going to be fair. And so they're getting a high quality experience and a high quality product for a very fair price, a very real and real time, real fair market value price.
Yeah, I think that's really great. I think you guys do a great job at being fair to your customers, and it seems like you're like so like there for them. I always see your social media posts and your live selling, and it always seems like so great, so open. I love seeing you guys on there.
Thank you.
We do. We
Yeah.
do enjoy it. I think from the beginning, I am not, despite how outgoing I think I come across on the internet, I'm very much an introvert. And when Monica said we're gonna go live right now, and I remember it was like the office wasn't even set up yet. Monica's like, we're going live.
Well, because I was like, how are we going to get customers? No one is on the streets. Everyone is at home.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're going to hit go live.
Yeah.
And that is probably the first time that my degree in broadcast journalism actually came into play, where I was
So
like,
you're the extrovert then, Monica.
extrovert to a degree. Yes, I would say.
But despite like my fears about like going live and being on, putting my face on the internet, it is still quite gratifying because 99% of the time people want you to win. They want to see, like, you'd be surprised how many people want to support you and want to see you win, and the ones that don't can keep scrolling.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have any, if you can say, new ideas or experiments that you're working on, maybe releasing this year or next?
I think something that we just implemented, so consumer behavior is changing. And so what we started to get a lot of requests for premium Coach pieces. Coach is not a brand that we historically have accepted into our inventory. Polen and Tory Burch also. And so because consumer behavior is changing, vintage Coach is everywhere, all over social media right now. We did a poll, and when we make a change in a franchise system, it's not like a quick update. It takes several weeks, if not months. We have to poll, we have to openly communicate to all of our franchisees. Everyone has to be on the same page.
We have a system.
We have to
Monica
update.
builds an operational system.
We have
around
to add it
everything.
to our operations manual. I mean, there are so many legalities around franchising also that I won't bore you guys with. It excites me. But we have to make sure that everything is properly communicated and executed before we even announce any kind of change to our clients. So internally, there's a lot that has to happen. And this started about 2 or 3 months ago, this discussion about accepting Coach Polen and Tory Burch. And we actually just started, I think, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Accepting that. So we are testing it out. We're seeing how our clientele reacts to Coach Polen and Tory Burch. And we're kind of just writing that out at this point.
Yeah.
It's interesting because if you talk to Miley's, her mom is obsessed with Coach, and it's super popular in Europe, and so is Marc Jacobs. Marc Jacobs and Coach, super popular in Europe.
Yeah.
So interesting how it just like flows this way. So I'm sure
Yeah.
next year it'll be like season 2, it's accepting Marc Jacobs.
There you go. But I mean, vintage Coach pieces are of amazing quality. Our mom has a beautiful collection of what is considered now vintage Coach leather pieces. And I remember us telling her, like, don't get rid of those. Don't get rid of those. Don't sell those. They're beautiful. And she's kept them, and she will never sell them. We will never allow her to sell them. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you guys kept them during like when you first started the business.
Oh, I know. Those were the only, you're so
That's it.
right.
We immediately
Jackie,
were like, absolutely no.
we were like that. Those were the only ones that we were like, no, you can't sell those. It's like,
Yeah.
bye. You have to keep those. It's
Yes.
so funny that was the sentiment back
We
then.
were like, we'll take the Chanel, we'll take the Gucci, we'll take the Louis.
But keep the Coach.
Keep the Coach. But they're all premium leather vintage pieces. They're gorgeous.
Yeah.
What I love about vintage Coach is that there's not usually a monogram or like a big brand awareness on it. It's just a great leather bag, which is great to have.
Yeah,
So true.
absolutely.
Something else that we're not experimenting with, because we've already been doing this for a little while, but just really leaning into is pop-up shops.
Yes.
People are, diversifying what we can offer to our clients, whether they're shoppers or consigners, is really, really important to us, and important to the future of the brand. And so, partnering with local businesses in all of the cities that we're in, whether that's a country club or a local private school or a local boutique that maybe does high-end shoes or high-end clothing, or a local med spa or something in all of our cities, we're starting to kind of leverage each other's customer base and creating a sort of partnership where we can go in, we'll bring the bags and some bubbly, you bring your customers, we'll bring our customers, and create like a real in-person, we call them IRL events in all of our cities. Because, sometimes you just got to get out from behind the screen and go meet people. It's a really good networking opportunity for our owners, but also an opportunity to both sell and consign.
And we have to give credit where credit is due. This is a Big Mac situation within our franchise system. So our ladies in New Jersey, they were the first ones to open in our franchise system. They brought this to us and they were like, we have an opportunity. Perhaps we could try it out. They have had immense success and they are so consistent with their pop-ups and their events. They have at least 1 or 2 per month. And it's been so impactful in such a positive way for their business. So then we recorded a fireside chat. We drafted up some policies and procedures, and then we put it out to our ecosystem. And now it's become a part of our business model.
Oh, I love that. I love the collaboration within the community too. How you can collaborate with other businesses to be able to open up to other customers that may not have heard about you yet, or just to find more clients in that area too.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity.
Yeah. And do you guys have any like other conferences or events that you're gonna attend this year? Do you have the summit happening again?
So we are doing in-person summit every 2 years, so every other year.
Okay.
We will have a virtual summit, so you'll receive information about that. But we are going to have S2C Summit every August, so it'll be a summer event. This past year, it was in person. It was our first one, our inaugural. And then this one coming up in 2025 will be the virtual, and then the one in 2026 will be in person again. But we also have a lot of franchise-specific events that we attend, lots of networking. We also are board members of the Titus Center for Franchising at Palm Beach Atlantic University. So we tend to have a lot of events through the Titus Center. And the franchise community itself as a franchisor is such a wonderful community. Everyone is so willing to share, so willing to collaborate, so willing to support. The franchise industry from a franchisor perspective is such a welcoming community. And honestly, we love it.
And shout out to the IFA. They selected our Orlando owner. Her name is Michelle Marcus. She's an incredible owner, operates with integrity, is just so wonderful at what she does. And she also has a dual language live.
Yes.
So she runs a couple of lives during the week on S2C TV, but she does have a Spanish language live as well, which is the only one that we have, which we're really, really proud of. She was given the award for Franchisee of the Year with the International Franchise Association this year. And it was just something we were so, so proud of.
That's so exciting. Yeah, I know Miley's loved going to your summit this past August and being able to be there. But that's great. I see on LinkedIn a lot of your posts about the franchise summits and conferences that you go to.
I would love to, something that we haven't done yet is I really do want to move into the fashion style conference space. It's just not something we've taken advantage of yet, and I think it's probably time.
Yeah, there's lots of like retail and like fashion conferences, it seems like, out there. They seem like they're really big too.
We should go together.
Yeah, let's do it.
Would love it.
We're going to be going to the Luxury Resale Association conference in July. Yeah. We will be there.
That's awesome.
Just quickly, how does someone become a franchise owner?
So if someone wanted to inquire, it is, I'm not going to lie, very transparent. It is a long process and it is very intentional because, again, we have to protect our brand and we have to make sure that it's mutually beneficial. So that it's a right fit for the person interested and also a right fit for season 2 as a brand. So what they would do is we have a website. It's season 2 franchising. It's the number, and literally everything you need to know up front is on that website that Erika built. Thank you, Erika. And if after you read everything, you're still interested and would like to have a conversation, Kezia is our director of franchise development. She's amazing. She is literally a ray of sunshine every time you talk to her. And so you would fill out the inquiry form and then schedule an appointment with Kezia, and Kezia will get on a phone call and just kind of walk through initial questions. Usually the process takes a couple of months, and that is getting on phone calls. We have to vet everything. We do background checks.
And then you get invited.
And then you would get invited to
what we call luxury leadership boot camp. So it's a full day with Monica and I. We walk through the entire business model. Of course, withholding some of our IP and things like that. But just spending time together. And then that fee goes into your franchise fee, and then we kind of go from there. We've gotten owners open in as little as 4 months. And we've gotten owners open within 8 months. So it just depends on kind of how quickly people are ready to move. We've had some owners kind of to have to resign from their corporate positions. And so that takes some time for that to happen. And so we hold your hand through that process. And then we've had owners who are like, I'm ready now. Let's go. Let's open this thing up.
I'm signing a lease on Monday and it's right.
Yeah, but it's a whole hand-holding process. We are getting on weekly phone calls with you we call it the road to launch, getting you ready. I mean, from the moment you file for your LLC with your state to the day of launch and beyond, it is truly, we're in it with you.
And do you have to have a background in luxury resale, or can anyone come on as a franchisee?
Yeah, no, I think, again, my biggest things that I look for, and I oversee the franchise development side with Kezia, who's our director, is just personality and grit. Your ability to adapt. Do you have a story? What have you come from? What have you overcome? Because whether you own a season 2 location or you own a Burger King or you own a boutique on the corner on Worth Avenue, I promise you there will be moments where it is incredibly difficult. And especially when you are a new business owner, there are just these unspoken kind of rules where maybe you're not profitable for like 3 to 5 years. And some people will look at a business model and they think, okay, I'm going to be profitable in 6 months and I'm going to be a millionaire in a year. And as long as I do all of this, it's going to be perfectly fine. And so we like to be very transparent from the very beginning. These are our numbers. Once you sign a document that we can share things with you, then we talk about in full transparency what the business model really entails, how much work actually goes into it. I think with season 2, all of our owners, we all do a great job of just making it look like a ton of fun, because it is. It's handbags. Like, how can it not be fun? But it's also a lot of work.
There's a lot of stuff that people don't see.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A lot behind the scenes. So we're definitely looking for someone who doesn't necessarily have a background in luxury resale. We're looking for people who have like an infectious personality, people who are outgoing, people who are witty and bright, have some street smarts.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, I think a lot of times people assume that we're looking for salespeople, and that is the complete opposite of what we're looking for, because we don't ever want our clients to feel like they're being sold at. When you're shopping with season 2, we want you to feel like you're shopping with a friend. Like, we're digital BFFs and we're just gonna talk about a handbag, and if you happen to like it, cool, add it to cart. But if not, that's okay. Eventually, maybe you'll like something within season 2. So sales people are not necessarily the person that we're going for either.
I think something that I look for too is they need to be a problem solver and they need to be an excellent communicator.
Yes.
If you can't be an excellent communicator sitting across the table from me, you're not going to be an excellent communicator on the screen talking to your customers, and that matters, right? I mean, we are in the business of consigning and selling handbags, so you have to be able to connect with people. And a big part of getting customers and clients to know, like, and trust you is being an excellent communicator.
Well, it feels that way when I see you and the other franchise owners on Instagram. It feels like just a friend that's like talking to me about the new product that you have coming in. It really feels like that. It feels like one-on-one conversation almost that you're having with someone.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, do you feel? I feel that way, Marlies, if you've seen them on Instagram.
I've seen them on Instagram, and yeah, I have that feeling. I've had the chance to meet them in real life as well, and every one of them were so sweet and wanted to learn. I just love the whole season 2 Consign ecosystem. And if ever I knew of someone wanting to start a business and be a good fit, I would definitely let them know, check them out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I think this maybe is a good point to start wrapping up. We could talk forever, I feel like, on this call.
Go get cocktails.
Yeah, that would be fun. Well, Erika and Monica, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been amazing to hear your story, get kind of a behind the scenes look at season 2 Consign and how it's grown into such a standout resale space. Before we wrap up, can you let your listeners know where you can follow season 2?
Absolutely. So you can follow our location on Instagram at season 2 Consign. So season, the number 2, Consign. And you can follow all of our cities. Maybe you're in Vegas or Austin or New Jersey, Raleigh, Durham, Orlando, Tampa. It's just season 2 Consign _ with the city. And you can also visit us on season2consign.com.
And I know we talked about upcoming events, but do you have any new franchise locations coming up this year?
We can't tell you yet.
We can't say
No.
yet, but we did just launch North Chicago.
Yes.
2 weeks ago, she just launched. Her name is Jill. She's the franchise owner there. She has a beautiful showroom, gorgeous vault. She did a phenomenal job in the pre-launch up to her launch week. And
Exemplary.
And you know what? With every new franchise launch that we have, everything just gets a little bit more elevated. And I think Jill in North Chicago did an exceptional job of that bar got elevated so much higher.
I saw the video of the space. It looks so nice.
Gorgeous.
So beautiful.
Gorgeous. But even the way that she executed her launch event, she had a red carpet from the elevator to the front door of her office. She had someone serving champagne. It was just such an amazing experience. And being able to meet everyone in Chicago that's an S2C fan member, really cool as well. So
Icing on the cake.
The cakes. But we did just launch North Chicago, and we do have a couple of prospective franchisees, but nothing is signed yet, so we can't talk about it.
Oh, that's going to be so exciting.
Literally, you'll be the first.
Really will.
Yes, we will.
When we email you like, hey, we have a new location.
Well, I saw your goal on LinkedIn. You did a post about 25 for 2025.
Yep.
I think you ladies can do it. That's amazing.
We operate with goals, but we also want to make sure that we're not just handing out 25 locations.
Yes, of course.
But yeah, I mean, it's a fun process. The franchise development side is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We are so excited to see what's next, and obviously to know where is the next location for season 2 Consign. Really thank you for joining us. It has been such a fun conversation. And so thanks for listening to the Resale Stack. Just don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow along for more conversations with the people building the future of resale.
See you next time.
See you next
Bye.
time.